Welcome back, everybody. We're here with Owen Williams, who is in London, does the London circuit. Very well known, ladies and gentlemen, very well known. And those of you that are privileged enough to get a spot on one of his courses, congratulations. Owen is in high demand. How are you, Owen?
I'm really good, thank you, and it's lovely to be talking to you. And you can keep your heat because we've got it comfortably here. And can I just say that let me just there's something I hadn't turned off. That's my phone. I've done that now. Yeah, I just want to say that everything you hear is said by my own guides today, for the simple purpose of saying to you that what you hear is not what I know, but what I'm being given to say to you. I hope you can make sense of that. Only they have come in to say they would like to add one or two things, but the gist of it is whatever you want to ask me today. But I'm very pleased to be back on the screen with you today.
Wonderful. Well, we're so glad and lucky to have you. Now, I know you started your courses. I know a lot of people signed up for your courses. How are your courses going at the moment? Are people very receptive?
Well, I can only speak, Liz, for the first course, which is nearing completion now. And at the moment, we have 10 active people on it. And I hit a snag, because I've never known such, well, I can say enthusiasm, passion, whatever description, for doing this work and for finding out how well they can connect with their guides. Now, this has meant that we've now reached the end of the course and they're not letting go. There's not one of them saying, I'm okay, I don't want any more. They have all, as a collective and individually, asked for more. So we're arranging for a follow-up course, but whether I would ever be able to do that for all the courses, I really don't know. But I love their enthusiasm, and the joy of working with them is an experience that in the last 20 years of running groups, I have never, ever known.
Wonderful. So tell us what sort of things you do in your courses. I know you.
Yeah, I can tell you what we do.
Okay.
We can explain to each individual who their guides are and what their role is in their lives if they want help at any time, and also how to experience trying to connect with them so that they can either see, sense, or hear, or if they're extremely lucky, then they get the lot. The way we're saying it from the spirit side is that it's like a wealth of being able. And the name of the game really is it possible to put into 6 weeks a very basic course? We have found that it lacks nothing. I wish Spirit would get a move on because I'm ahead of the game, but it lacks nothing. We talk about guides, we talk about opening chakras, dealing with protection from anything that's negative. We also manage to get through quite a bit of practice work. We deal with pendulums, how to use those to the value of ourselves and other. We go through cards, oracle cards, angel cards, how to use them, what to do with them. There are many other aspects that we have done over the last few weeks, and has been met with the same level of enthusiasm. That's just part of it, but there's only so much you can do in that first 6 sessions.
Yes, and that's right. So it's like 6 weeks, and you do it every Saturday. Is that
Right,
correct?
we do it in 6 weeks. So this course has been running for 6 weeks. What I do an introductory course, an introductory session to make sure that whoever is wanting to go on the course feels it is right for them.
Yeah.
I don't ask for anything for that. They come along and they take part. They enjoy meeting all the other people who want to move on to the next session. And following that, I ask for the donation, which I would put in writing to any inquiries that I receive. And then we go 6 successive weeks. So as soon as this course ends next Saturday, the new one begins the following Saturday. And when that one finishes, almost immediately the third and final course of the year begins. And I can say that I do have about 5, it could be 6 vacancies for that.
Oh, so you have about 6 vacancies for your course in October.
Yeah. End of
Okay,
October, the introductory one is. Yeah.
wonderful. So there's still time to grab a spot on Owen's course.
Still
Now,
trying time to grab a spot. And what I'm going to say to everyone who is interested in is if you just email me and let me know if obviously you're going to be interested, and that's why you're emailing me. If you email me, I will send you back a kind of basic history, how I have received spirit guidance and help to be where I am today. I don't put myself on a pedestal. I'm just an ordinary, simple guy. But the important thing to say to you is that although I've been a medium for 20 years, I have never felt as strong with the commitment that I have now. And it's simply because I have found my work getting better and better. And subsequently and accordingly, I have been busier and busier. That's how life goes. So, yeah, I'm here for the benefit of others, but I will send a kind of potted history back so that you know who you're dealing with. And then from there on, you can decide what you want to do.
yeah, that's fantastic. So give us an example of something that you do when you're pulling the. I remember when I was in one of your circles
Yeah.
that you had a card or you had a stack of cards with words on them
Yep.
and you
Yep.
shuffled them out and you pulled a card for everybody.
Yep.
And then what did we do with that?
Well, what you can do is a number of different things. For example, you can pick a card that is appropriate for you. I will show a fan of cards and you can point my finger at the card that you want to pick. Or I will pick a card for you. And once I've done that, I can do one of two things. I can say, this card is for you. And then on the next round, I say, I want you to choose somebody in the group looking at the screen and choose a card that is correct and apt for them. So there are many things you can do with cards. And we are a little bit limited in terms of wanting to do any psychometry or anything like that. But at least we can use cards to the advantage of ourselves. And it's always a good thing if you have angel cards to pick up a card each day, just draw a card out of the pack, and it will help you, inspire you, very often give you the answer to any question you have outstanding.
Wow.
So that's just one example of what we do. We've worked with pendulums. They've had great fun with that. And although it's not a fun toy as such, they have found it of value in being able to use it for a number of reasons, most of which they never even had thought about. And that what the pendulum does, it puts you in touch with your higher consciousness, which leads to your links directly to your guides, so that you get value added by having that link with them.
And the one thing that I know about the pendulum is that when you go to shop for a pendulum, you really need to hold it in your hand You need to feel it, see
Yeah,
if it feels very receptive to you. How does your gut feel about that particular pendulum? Now,
yeah,
if the gut feels that it gives you the A-OK to buy that pendulum, then what you do after the purchase is you keep that pendulum with you at all times or as much as possible. The more that
yeah.
it stays with you, the more that it will align to your energy and the more that it gives you most accurate answers. Now, let me ask you this question, Owen.
Yeah.
I find that if I use the pendulum and I'm asking personal questions about myself, I find that the pendulum will give wrong answers. Do you find that as well?
I think there are a number of reasons for
Yeah.
that, but very often there's an answer that we want to hear.
Yep.
The other thing is that you know what the answer is and you're looking for confirmation. You do not always get it because we work two ways. We work from gut feeling
Mm-hmm.
or just using our brains. Two different ways. So your gut feeling says, I know I'm going to get this right. I know I'm going to be able to do this. And your brain is saying, oh, I don't know. I think I might be taking a risk. Those are the two ways it can work. So don't be put off if you get what you believe to be the wrong answer or a negative answer, because it is telling you you have to make the choice for yourself. You have to follow that intuition. It is not something that spirit can necessarily give you the right answer for.
Yeah. And also, there's an answer that we want to hear, and there's an answer that we're scared to hear. And
Yeah,
oftentimes
absolutely.
that fear will, manifest itself in the energy field of the pendulum, and it will give you the answer that you want to hear as opposed to the answer that you need to hear. And that happens
Well,
in readings as well. A
of
lot of
course.
times.
Yeah. No, I understand what you say completely. For example, have wanted to have someone special in my life for many years. Following on the passing of my wife 10 years ago, I've got a lot to share, and I want to share things with someone who wants to share with me and live the life. I can use a pendulum and say to my guides, is this going to happen for me? Now, they could give me various answers, but the answer I want to hear is yes. So it might just want to give me a yes, but in the end, I have to let it be. Not rely on pendulums because you should never do that. You can use them as confirmation or a method of achieving certain aims, but to rely on it totally, it will not work.
Right, right. I just find the easiest way is you don't ask personal questions about yourself if you're trying to obtain answers, because you will skew your results naturally. You're too emotionally involved in the information. And
Well,
B, if you wanted to, excuse me, get an answer for some sort of question or information that you want, then what you need to do is you need to write out about 100 questions on 100 different pieces of paper. You fold them up, put them in a bag, you shuffle them around, okay? Then you pull out the paper that is still folded. You do not look at the question, and you put like a letter, number, target combination on it. This is remote viewing. And when you
I
put the
see.
letter, yeah, when you put the letter number combination on there, make sure it's very unique. And then
Yeah.
you say to the pendulum, okay, the question that is inside this piece of paper with target number ABC123, whatever, don't ever use that because that is
Mm.
too frequently used. And then they give you the answer. Then you open up your paper, right?
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
that's the way to do it double blind when you're trying to obtain information regarding yourself. Other than that, I would always suggest that you use your own psychic. I mean, I use my own. Oh, and when I've had an issue, I've come to you. When you've
Yeah,
had an issue, you've come to me because it's
exactly.
easier to have an
And
objective.
what you're saying is exactly what we were going to say next,
Mm,
which is in the end, you know sometimes just what's going to be. And I've been told many times, in fact, even today by one of my medium friends, that I'm about to go through a big change in my life on a private, personal basis. I've had that message for a very long time. And even now, I doubt. And yet I shouldn't, because I say to all my clients during private readings, I say to them, look, whatever you hear is the truth. You might have to wait longer than you
mm,
feel you want to, but in the end, it'll happen.
yeah. So give us another example of something that you teach in the course.
I think the most important thing we try to do is to get people to link with those they know to be guides, but never quite sure. You see, even now, as I send a signal out, there are many of your friends online now that can feel an energy moving around one side of their head, possibly going around to the back of their necks. It can be warmth, it can be sound like the sea, it can be a touch, but whatever it is energy flowing. So that even now I can tell you that each person who watches this is going to receive healing. That is
Ooh,
an amazing thing, but that is the value that we do every week, every session. We do a very thoughtful session on sending out loving healing. That is a fundamental part of our everyday work. And every session begins with a guided meditation as well to get people relaxed and linking in with their spirit helpers.
yes. Quick question. Do you still have your intensive healing list?
I still have my intensive healing list, most definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell us what you do with that.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll tell you exactly what I do with it. If somebody contacts me and says, will you put someone on your intensive? Because most people I know that I have different lists for different purposes. For example, I have one short list where I work hard on getting spirit guides to help get rid of negative entities. But the intensive one is read by me every morning and every evening. And when I call the names out, I offer those names to those in the spirit world who are in a position to help. Those people receive help, and sometimes, well, they don't know what's going on because they don't even know they're on my list. But the words that I'm given to say, we leave it to the Lord's prayers. We rely on that energy that comes from spirit, whether it's how you see Christ, whether you see it's Buddha, Muhammad, or all these people, ascended masters. Those are the people we call up and say, please give help and good health to these people who are in need of intensive care and healing.
Wow.
And I
Wow.
call those twice a day. I've done it this morning, and I will be doing it when we finish this video this evening.
Wonderful. I know that you've put my father on your intensive healing list. I know you put George on your intensive healing list.
Yep.
And you actually concentrate on each individual name.
Yep. Not
I
for
think
long,
that's
but long enough
amazing.
to visualize them.
Oh. So
I try to visualize them if I know if I know them.
if you don't know them, how do
I
you
still,
visualize them?
I still call their name out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm happy to add to the list, and I can say this, that if each person watching now was able to send loving healing out to people, wherever they go, whoever they see, ask your guides, please. Help those people who don't look so well. You know what happens when you're walking down the street and you see people walking with their heads down? Try ask for upliftment for those people, to give them a purpose in life. That is doing good and that is healing. And I love to be able to tell people that.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. Well, thank you for everything you do. And so you have spots available for October. How do people contact you if they want to grab one of those spots? Now, I'm just going to say, guys, those of you, most of you are outside of the UK. You don't understand how popular Owen is, right? Owen has been on the platform mediumship circuit for I don't know how many years, 20 years now, Owen?
Yeah, far too many years sometimes.
Yeah, and he's very well known. You usually draw large audiences in, certainly pre-COVID, you drew in large audiences and you were used to reading for large audiences.
Oh, yeah. I mean, last night, I worked in a church in Richmond, which is in Surrey, not far from the centre of London, and an area known to you, Liz. I
Yes,
worked at
very well.
Richmond Spiritualist Church. I think there were only about 15, 16 people in. I took one of my students on platform with me, and we managed to give readings to everyone there. And also they got an address where I talked to them philosophically, that sort of thing. Give them guidance, give them a feeling that love is what we want in our lives. If we don't want love, then we don't know what living's all about, do we?
No, that's right. And platform mediumship, it's not easy because you're giving a reading or readings to someone, and sometimes spirit will come through with something that's so personal, and you have to be able to word it in such a way as to not cause embarrassment for that person.
You're spot on, because what happens is I get told as I'm talking, I get told that they want to talk to this person on somebody on a personal basis, not in front of everybody. So the word goes out to that person as I'm talking to them, come and talk to me afterwards.
Yeah.
And that way I can deliver what I've held back on, because it can be almost embarrassing sometimes.
It can. You know,
well, I'll give you an example. I do seem to find that some of the gentlemen in the congregations, you don't get many of them, suffer from impotence. Now, that is something that the healers can work on and are quite successful. But I don't want to talk about that in front of a congregation, which is why I ask them to come and talk to me afterwards.
Oh my God, Owen. Yeah. Well, I mean,
that's life. Come on, that's life. That's how life begins.
It is.
Yeah.
And ends, apparently.
Don't tell me about it.
But I got in trouble in one of those London circles once because it was the one out in Hayes, the circle out in Hayes, which I wasn't, I don't know, the vibe didn't really resonate with me so much. That's another thing. You have to go where the vibe, it feels good. And I know that they do Acton, Richmond, Barnes. What other churches do you do, Owen?
Well, you've mentioned three: Acton, Ealing, Uxbridge, Barnes, Kingston, Slough. Oh, I can't think at the moment. Several. Morden, Stockwell, Clapham. Oh, all stations. So many places. But I'm reducing the number of churches I work in so that I can do more of this work online. And I feel that we could be looking to do another course or two in the new year if there's enough interest. But I can't do any bookings as yet. But I'm very happy if anybody wants to register their interest. Anybody contacting me will get a little resume of who I am. Not a lot. It's just for you to know that I do have the experience. I do have something going on in my life at the moment, which is all of this work. And I'm looking forward to having someone in my life. Would you just shut up, please? It's all right. I'm just telling my guys that I don't need their comments coming in like that. It's only done in a joking manner. But I can tell you this, when you work like I do with spirit, we do share common ground and we talk as one. And I have to actually ask them not to come in at times. Other times I'm almost begging them to. The joy of working with spirit is not something that you could ever fully go out and tell people how you feel. You can't actually do that because it can be good, it can be exhilarating, and it's sometimes hard work too. But in the end, it's very rewarding. And I don't mean financially. I mean that giving people help is the most satisfying and loving thing that we could do for them.
Yes, absolutely. Now, do you have any final messages from Lee Wang?
Thank you. Well, Lee Wang, now some of you will feel a shiver going through you now. And I can tell you this, that he is a very powerful person in terms of energy, and he can transmit that energy to all of you, and I'm sure many of you can feel it now, including some of the people in your groups that I already know who are on the course or scheduled to join. He wants to give you this message. Thank you for inviting me. I come with these words to all of you. May you be blessed with the joy of knowing who you are guided with and by. Know that we are here for you. We can say these words to you in a very shambolic Chinese accent because I am Owen's Chinese chief. He likes to call me his boss. I call him boss as well. Two bosses, but we get on well. We say to you, today is a day when you can say, I can do this work. And if you can say that and you want to know more how to find out, then join a course. We don't advertise it anywhere else. There are no websites. We don't need websites. It is all on referrals. Enough is enough. So we give you this message from what we call spirit side to you, earth side. Today we combine to give you these words that are given from those who want the very best for all of you. Do what you can for others and enjoy receiving the love of those in spirit who enjoy seeing you, sometimes finding it very difficult to accept a gift of thanks. How many of you can honestly say, I'm good at receiving, I'd rather give? Well, that feeling of receiving should always be met with thank you, not I can't take that, because that does a disservice to the person who wants to give. I know this sounds like we're preaching, but we want you all to feel good in yourselves, to love yourselves, to feel you can help as many people as possible. And if we can, we will help you through Owen to help as many people as at all. It is even impossible to do the lot, but we will do our best. Chirps in my dear lady wife, who joins me so frequently from spirit side. And may you love each other. Yes, because that's what we're on the earth to do. Let's ask for everybody to love everyone in the world, and let's all be happy and enjoy life all together. We are here for you. Always remember that. May you be blessed by your gods forever and ever. Amen.
Wow. Thank you, Owen. Well, there you have it, folks.
You get it from them. You don't get it from me.
You're You're so funny. There you have it. There's Owen for you guys. He's fantastic. Those of you
Yeah,
that have been following me for a long time, you know that I started out in the circles in
yeah.
London every
Yeah.
summer
I'll
years
drink to that.
and years ago. I'll drink to that. What is that? Straight vodka.
It's just water with lemon and lime.
Oh yeah. Is that what you call it? That's not what you said last night, Owen.
Oh, shut up. I'll have a
Um,
stronger one later. There is another thing to add, if we may. Spring comes for this place, big change. We say it to you now, and if Owen says something online eventually when it comes to the spring, he will be able to say it's all happened according to the messages he has received. You just heard it then, you are witness to a message from me, the wonders of springtime. Well, I think it will probably happen before, I surely hope, and it'll be well established by then. Enough of that. I don't want to talk about myself, but I will do this.
well, thank you very much, Owen. Again, if you want to get in touch with Owen, sign up for those last few spots on that third course starting in October. I promise you will not regret it. Owen WLL at AOL.com. Again, OWENWLL at AOL.com. Thank you, Owen. Thank you for giving us more information again today. We think you're fantastic. Thank you for joining us.
Uh,
And
well, I'm going to say I think you're bloody marvelous because
uh,
you managed to achieve so much for so many. You bring joy, comfort, and comfort and joy is one thing I wanted to say to you today, Liz. And I'm not really here to give you messages today, but by Christmas time, you'll be able to see more clearly how life is going to be for you. Thank you for Liz being here,
oh.
because I want to say one more thing. I've always got one more thing to say. In a half hour's time, I'd probably still have one more thing. But I want to say this because it is true, like everything I said. If it hadn't been for the lockdown with the COVID, I wouldn't be here talking to you today.
No, no,
Because that
because
was how I met Liz online in a group when
yeah,
we were practicing doing some work. And the rest is history.
it's
And
true.
sometimes a mystery.
Well,
But
it's true.
thank you for being there, Liz. Thank you everybody for having the patience to sit through this. And I look forward to hearing from those who feel this is good feeling. They get a good feeling from this, and I will make sure they get to where they want to in anything they want from me. Okay?
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks, Spirit, because they gave me all the words. You didn't get me at all.
Oh, thank you.
All
All
right.
righty. Bye.
God bless you all. Bye.